Hi, friends. This is Sarah-Nell Walsh. For those of you who don't know me, I am a business coach who is focused on the professional success and personal development of her clients. Hello. I just had someone log on. I help my clients grow their businesses, gain influence, and make their desired impact on their organizations, their family, and the world. This Facebook Live series was inspired by one of my coaches, and it's a multi-week series of live stream sessions designed to help you find a new rhythm through this COVID crisis. And some of you might know this, but I actually created a PDF called Finding the New Rhythm. And if you want that, just comment down in the section below and I'm happy to send that to you. I gotta be honest, this is terrifying for me. I've never really done anything on this scale before, and yet I feel compelled to do this because I have gained so much from the knowledge and from the courage of other people during COVID and the fact that they've shared their gifts with the world. And since I'm in a unique position as a coach to help people, I really felt like I should help as many people as I can. So today we're talking about resiliency. And I'll be honest with you, I have heard a lot about this buzzword in the past, both as my job as an attorney and also after becoming a coach. But it really didn't click with me until last week what this word means and why it's so important. My coaching program, Hudson, has been hosting care and resiliency calls for their coaches to both help their coaches process their anxieties and their griefs and their stress during this time, but also to help us continue to be able to hold space for our clients who are going through really, really tough times right now, especially for coaches who serve the medical field. And a lot of our clients are scared, and these are righteous fears. People are scared they're going to lose their jobs. People are scared they're going to have to fire their colleagues who they love and who maybe even they hired and have come to think of as family. They're scared of getting sick. They're scared of domestic discord within their houses and what that could mean for the future of their family. And they're also scared of dying. People are scared of not being able to breathe in so many different ways, both literally and figuratively right now. And as I said, these are really righteous fears. So how do we steady ourselves during this deep rocking of the world without bypassing these fears? How do we move through them instead of burying them down deep in a little box to deal with another day? Me and my husband used to always be like, I'm just going to shove it down real deep and I'll deal with that later. Don't have time for that right now. And we do this with resiliency. Resiliency is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. You'll notice that the definition doesn't say anything about avoiding difficulties, but is all about the recovery. Hi, David. And resiliency's kissing cousin is endurance, which is defined as the fact or power of surviving an unpleasant or difficult process or situation without giving way. What do you notice about the definition of endurance that's different from resiliency? In endurance, there is no recovery. There is only the staying power. When I listened to Mark Nepo and Claire Breeze talk about resiliency, I had this image of endurance being a big concrete wall that blocks the tide. Have you seen these at the beach? The specific one I had in mind is at the Breakers Resort in Palm Beach. And as you're walking along the water at high tide, the water is just pounding this big concrete wall as it comes in. And the image I had of resilience was of a mangrove tree. Both the concrete wall and the mangrove tree protect the earth behind it, but the mangrove lets the wind and water through its gnarled branches. It's adaptable, it's flexible, and it serves as a permeable barrier between the beach and the land. At the same time, it filters water, it stores carbon, and it provides a habitat for fish and smaller animals. It is truly alive. It is part of the system that it's in. The words endurance and resilience are often used interchangeably, but they're experienced very differently. How do you experience endurance? Resilience? To me, endurance feels like the length of time that you can stand on hot coals. When you come off, your feet are blistered and burned, but you endured. Yet often, no matter how long you were able to stand on those coals, you feel shame that you couldn't have lasted longer. If only I could have stayed on another minute, another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes. You're really disappointed in yourself in your inability to withstand this high level of heat. Resiliency, on the other hand, feels like walking across hot coals. After you finish walking across them, your feet might be red and tender, but they're going to recover quickly. And you feel proud and amazed that your body could withstand that kind of heat. When we're resilient, we're just like the mangrove. When we come up against these tides of righteous emotion, fear, anxiety, sadness, grief, we need to let them pass through us rather than keep them out like that big concrete wall at the breakers. How do you block fear? How does a mangrove block the sea? By letting it pass through. There is no way out but through. Or as Alanis Morissette would say, the only way out is through. Let's be real, y'all. I often block fear with red wine and mindless TV, but I aspire to be like the mangrove. So how can we feel the fear and then recover quickly back to resourcefulness? How do we cultivate resiliency? You can start with these 4 questions. First, what are your strengths? What stores do you have to handle this? This focuses you on what you can do to move through this time. Second, what's in your control? You'll see I dyed my hair red. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I did. And that's because my life was feeling a little out of control. So I decided I was going to take that control back with something that I could control, which was my hair color. And so I dyed it a COVID red. So all of us can wake up to the conditions that we have control over and focus on those. Thanks, Em. What restores you? Recovery is a type of rest that enables you to bounce back. For me, I have recently discovered that solitude is one of the things that really restores me, that I need at least an hour a day completely alone. And that is really hard right now with 4 people under my roof. And so I've had to ask for it, which has led to some uncomfortable conversations. But I've had to ask for what I need, and then I've had to give what I can. And if that means that I only have 10 minutes of solitude instead of the hour that I want, I try to be happy with the 10 minutes that I got. And then 4th, you can ask yourself, for the sake of what? And this is connecting you to that higher purpose. It's often easier to get through a really difficult time when we're able to connect it to some higher purpose, an expression of what we're here to do and what we're working and putting our talents towards in service of something that's often bigger than ourselves. So last week when I was listening to those Hudson Karen resilience calls, which really were epic, Claire Breeze, who's a Zen chaplain, said, "Impermanence is at the heart of possibility." And at hearing this line, I literally paused it and I said to Al, I said, "Did you hear that?" And he said, "Hear what?" And I said, "Impermanence is at the heart of possibility." And he looked at me and he goes, "You are becoming a dirty hippie." So for this girl who typically wears Lily Pulitzer, that was a really funny thing to hear. Anyway, but impermanence is at the heart of possibility. And at hearing that, something completely unlocked within me. I saw the most vivid image of a stone bridge. Think 3 billy goats gruff going halfway across a small river where it's rudely interrupted. And at that midway point, like one of those Lego YouTube videos, I don't know if any of y'all on here have kids, but my kids watch them all the time. At that midway point, all these really narrow little stone staircases came out and started emerging, and they all ended on the other side, and they were kind of constantly shifting like the grand staircase in Harry Potter. And all the staircases took you by a different path across this river. And that image completely unstuck me. I no longer felt tethered to this fixed trajectory that I thought my business was on, where I had to send certain newsletters on certain days and write blog posts and follow my business plan. All of a sudden, I realized that I'm exploring that uncharted territory of the always shifting staircases. And these Facebook Lives is part of that for me. But I can rest safe in the knowledge that each one of those staircases are going to deposit me on the other side, even if it wasn't on the trajectory that I expected or even wanted. That image gave me renewed creativity, hope, and energy for this journey that we're all on. So I'll leave you with this one question. What is possible for you now that wasn't possible before? If you're new to Wayfinders, please like my Facebook page at wayfinders.atl so you can see more of these live videos. And if you already like Wayfinders ATL, woot woot, please choose the See Posts First in the following tab so you can get notifications of upcoming live episodes. And if you have a message that you think will help people through this uncertain time and want to share it through this platform, I have just learned how to do Zoom interviews or videos as Facebook Lives. So shoot me an email and I would love to host you and see how many people we can help. So my email address is snwalsh@wayfinders-atl.com. You know, I wasn't planning on doing this, but I've got my journal sitting right here. And this morning in Richard Rohr's daily meditation, which if you don't follow, I highly recommend. He's a great Catholic theologian, but it has universal applicability. He had Teresa of Avila's prayer, and it says, "Let nothing disturb you. Let nothing upset you. Everything changes. God alone is unchanging. With patience, all things are possible." And again, it struck me what a connection there was between that image of the bridge that I'd had in my mind and this prayer that showed up in my morning meditation this morning. And so I will leave you with that. And remember, anything or anyone who doesn't light you up is too small for you. Go out there, take good care of yourselves, take good care of each other, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.